Hi, good evening. I am Beverly Calender-Anderson, Director of the Community and Family Resources Department, and I want to thank you for the opportunity to present the department's 2021 budget request this evening. The Community and Family Resources Department helps to improve quality of life in Bloomington by coordinating programs and services designed to strengthen community engagement and to increase the overall community capacity to address social issues. The CFRD staff work collaboratively with one another, other departments, and community partners to help build a strong and vital community. I want to take this opportunity to thank the CFRD staff, not only for all the hard work they do under normal circumstances, but for their flexibility and extreme creativity in continuing to deliver programs and services during this unprecedented time. CFRD operates with 9 full-time staff and currently with 2 interns. Our programs include the Bloomington Volunteer Network that celebrated its 40th anniversary earlier this year, Latino outreach programs, the Safe and Civil City program, and we provide support to 6 commissions, the Council for Community Accessibility, the Monroe County Domestic Violence Coalition, and the Safety, Civility, and Justice Community Coordinating Council. In addition to the programs just mentioned, in the past few months, CFRD has given leadership to anti-racism, equity and inclusion initiatives, the Emergency Social Services Working Group, and the Monroe County 2020 Census Complete Count Committee. Now I'll share a few updates from our 2020 budget goals. In the area of safety, civility, and justice, last year we implemented the After Hours Ambassador program and hired Jenna Whitaker as our first After Hours Ambassador. Jenna recently relocated to another state with her family, so the position is currently open and we are in the process of reviewing applications in order to fill that position. Related to that, the volunteer After Hours Ambassador Corps we'd hope to begin is on hold until we get the After Hours Ambassador position filled. We continue to monitor the 30 recommendations from the Safety, Civility, and Justice Task Force. However, we had intended to implement 3 new recommendations this year and they are on hold so far. What was not stated in our 2020 goals, but because of COVID-19 became essential for our department's involvement, was working with the Social Services Working Group appointed by Mayor Hamilton in March of this year. This group helped to assure residents experiencing homelessness had an appropriate place to isolate if they became symptomatic or tested positive for COVID, that families experiencing food insecurity were able to access emergency food supplies, and that childcare was available for essential workers who were needed to help keep our community running. I want to take an opportunity to thank our partners at Bloomington Hospital Foundation, Community Foundation of Bloomington, Monroe County, United Way of Monroe County, and the wonderful nonprofit service providers who worked countless hours, sometimes risking their own health, to make sure the basic needs of our city's most vulnerable residents were addressed. In the area of diversity, equity, and inclusion, we're continuing to work with the Human Resources Department to assure a diverse and qualified pool of applicants for all city position openings by sharing employment opportunities with organizations serving racial and religious minorities and through all of our social media platforms. We're also assisting the Human Resources Department in making available mandatory implicit bias and anti-racism training for all city staff. Most recently, CFRD hosted a de-escalation training, which was available to all employees and our nonprofit partners. 127 people took advantage of this training. 61 of them were city staff, and 66 came from 34 nonprofit organizations in the community. Also in the area of diversity, we held a Young Women's Leadership Summit this past fall as part of the ongoing Safe and Civil City programming. The summit was attended by 107 middle and high school female students of color. In the area of engagement, because of COVID-19, many nonprofit agencies have reduced their use of direct service volunteers. However, the need for skill-based volunteers that are able to work remotely or serve on boards and committees are still needed. Lucy Shake, the director of the Bloomington Volunteer Network, continues to do outreach to individuals and businesses to encourage more pro bono and skill-based volunteering. And of course, boards and commissions are another way residents can become involved in making a difference in our community. As stated earlier, CFRD staffs 6 commissions, the Council for Community Accessibility, the Monroe County Domestic Violence Coalition. So I want to take this opportunity, council members, to thank you for being very intentional about making appointments to these boards and commissions quickly. That really helps the work of those boards and commissions move smoothly and without very much interruption. So thank you for that. Working with the city clerk's office to develop an onboarding program for all new commission and board members has been one of the projects that was suspended because of the pandemic. However, we hope to get back to it before the end of the year. And a few highlights from the work of CFRD commissions include the inaugural Outstanding Young Woman of the Year awards that were presented by the Commission on the Status of Black Males. And they presented those in February, along with their annual Young Black Male Leader of the Year award during Black History Month. The Commission on the Status of Children and Youth completed the youth participatory budgeting process and held a vote for all middle and high school students in the community. The project, however, that came out as #1 presented some very insurmountable barriers. And so those young people continue to work on this project, and now they're working to implement the project that received the second highest number of votes. Both the Commission on the Status of Black Males and the Commission on the Status of Children and Youth are staffed by Shatoya Moss, the city's Safe and Civil City Director. The Commission on Hispanic and Latino Affairs, which is staffed by Latino Outreach Coordinator Josefa Luz, will continue to recognize Hispanic and Latino middle, high school, and college students moving to new levels in school or graduating during Latinx Heritage Month, and that will take place in September and October of this year. And in addition to handling our department's finances, Sue Owens also staffs the Commission on Aging and the Commission on the Status of Women. Unfortunately, the Woman of the Year luncheon had to be canceled in March, but recipients of this year's awards will be recognized on Women's Equality Day, August 26th, in a virtual celebration that can be accessed via Facebook. And there will be more information about this on our social media platforms and through news releases. The Council for Community Accessibility is staffed by Michael Shermas, who is also the liaison for the Martin Luther King birthday holiday celebration. And the CCA, Council for Community Accessibility, is continuing to survey businesses and other public facilities for accessibility. The council is also currently working with the Elections Board and Stone Belt Self-Advocates to survey 36 polling places in the county to assure voting is accessible for all of our residents. In addition to the staff members I've mentioned, I want to give a shout out to Marissa Parr-Scott, the awesome CFRD office manager, who helps keep us all organized and moving like a well-oiled machine. Now I'll talk a little bit about our 2021 budget goals. In the area of engagement, we are hoping to develop a strategy, we're developing a strategy to increase communication and collaboration between nonprofit agencies and grassroots helpers to encourage shared resources and strategies resulting in enhanced service to residents in need. We've also assumed the coordination and administration of Helping Bloomington Monroe, which is an online resource for people in need. Then we're also transforming our nonprofit board development training to an online platform, which will help train residents who are interested in serving on boards of nonprofit organizations. This online platform will allow us to accommodate additional participants because of the flexibility of the platform. In the area of safety, civility, and justice, we will go on and develop that downtown ambassador corps We will start by recruiting 10 volunteers to assist our after hours ambassador to monitor various sectors of the downtown for cleanliness, noise, if there are persons in need that are downtown. And this will result in a more engaged community committed to a clean and safe and just downtown for everyone. We are developing a collaborative team of diversity, equity, and inclusion specialists from the city, Indiana University, Ivy Tech, MCCSC, and area businesses. And we're doing this in order to coordinate programming and activities, but also to provide support for one another and to ensure transparent and open communication. And we will be providing administrative support to the community's Racial Justice Task Force, which is being formed as a result of the city's work with the Moritz College of Law's Divided Community Project. And I believe that was mentioned earlier this week. In the area of diversity, we will be coordinating a Black Male Summit in the fall of 2021 for a minimum of 75 middle and high school age male students of color, as well as another Young Women's Leadership Summit in the spring for a minimum of 120 female students of color that are in middle and high school. We will be working with the Department of Economic and Sustainable Development to coordinate a 3-day Black and Brown Arts Festival. This will be our second, I believe, and it will highlight the works of a minimum of 40 local artists of color in the visual and performing arts. And we'll continue our work with the Spanish-speaking community and for the Spanish-speaking community by providing English to Spanish and Spanish to English translations for nonprofit agencies, city departments, and Spanish-speaking residents. And we'll continue to respond to direct service and resource and referral calls from our Spanish-speaking residents as well. And now I'll highlight for you a few of the goals of our commissions. They have many, but can't do them all. So the Commission on Aging will host a minimum of 3 workshops or public events on the lifetime community concept. That's a concept that they champion. The Commission on the Status of Black Males will advocate for inclusion, equity, and justice for Black males through a social media, letter writing, and guest editorial campaign. The Commission on the Status of Children and Youth will recognize 4 area children and youth with Swagger Awards in the fall. And Swagger stands for Students Who Act Generously, Grow, and Earn Respect. I think I got that right. And the Commission on Hispanic and Latino Affairs will connect members of the Hispanic and Latino community who are unable to access federally funded resources to local resources that provide for food, childcare, housing, and personal health and safety needs, so to ensure a decent quality of life for them. And in addition to the annual MLK birthday celebration, the MLK Birthday Holiday Committee will coordinate a commemoration of Dr. King's assassination on or about April 4th, which is the anniversary of his assassination. The Commission on the Status of Women plan to increase the presence of women of color and men at the Women's Leadership Development event by including more diversity on their planning committee and among the presenters. And the Council on Community Accessibility will continue their decal program to new and existing businesses for accessibility compliance. And the Monroe County Domestic Violence Coalition publishes 2 updates, and they will continue to do this, 2 updates of domestic violence statistics in Monroe County. The Community and Family Resources Department's general fund request, oh gosh, excuse me just a minute. Our general fund request is $1,069,072. This is an increase of $252,265 or 31%. Our personnel request, as you can see, has decreased by $3,635, but our category 3 request increased by $255,750 to a total of $296,820. The significant increases in category 3 are travel, which is a $1,000 increase, and that represents travel for conferences. $1,600 in hardware and software maintenance for the purchase of renewal licenses for software and equipment we may need. And then in the grants line, there's an increase of $251,000. And that primarily relates to the transfer of downtown outreach funding from the Bloomington Police Department into community and family resources. And it also includes $1,000 of increased support to CFRD commission projects. And this is the chart outlining our budget requests, and you can see our general fund budget request. And so you can see where that goes. And there's a 31% increase overall. Our 2021 Recover funding request is $50,000, and it will be used to provide programming and support for vulnerable populations that include but aren't limited to people who are experiencing homelessness, substance misuse disorder, food insecurity, or mental and emotional health concerns. And it's charted out, and it's all in our grants line right now. And so this is our 2021 budget request, and it reflects, we think it reflects increases that align with the stated goals for the Department of Engagement, Safety, Civility, and Justice, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, and support to our commissions. So I want to thank you for your consideration of our 2021 budget request. And of course, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have.